Hello everyone, welcome to today's show. On the show, we have a lot of stuff to talk about. We are going to get you previewed, caught up, ready for the first of, I believe, 2 public testimonies for the House that Michael Cohen will be offering today. It's going to be very, very fun. And his admission that Trump knew about WikiLeaks email hacks. Also, North Korea. And, of course, the House border fight. And a look at 2020 is also what we're going to be doing today. All right, let's get right into it. We don't have that much time. We have a lot of news to cover. All right, so at the top, breaking late last night, was the leak that obtained Michael Cohen's extraordinary 20-page prepared congressional statement that he plans to today deliver publicly before the House Oversight Committee. First obtained by Politico's Andrew Desiderio, that alleges Trump was a racist, a con man, and a cheat, who is well aware of WikiLeaks' plan to drop emails, plan to release emails, and implicitly pressured Cohen to lie about negotiations to build a Trump Tower in Moscow. So that could be a little bit of confirmation there of the BuzzFeed story. I don't know if he has documents to prove that, because obviously his credibility, if last night and Matt Gaetz was any indication, we'll get to that in a moment, but if there was any indication, Matt Gaetz was going to be, just based on that Matt Gaetz tweet last night, his credibility was going to be in question to a large degree. And that is going to be something he's going to have to rise to, so we'll see how he does it. But apparently he has bought documents to prove some of his allegations here. So here's what he says on Trump Tower in Moscow. Quote, "To be clear, Mr. Trump knew of and directed the Trump Tower Moscow negotiations throughout the campaign and lied about it. Cohen intends to say of his former boss, he lied about it because he never expected to win the election. He also lied about it because he stood to make hundreds of $millions from of dollars on the Moscow real estate project, and so I lied about it too because Mr. Trump had made clear to me through his personal statements that we both knew were false, and through his lies to the country that he wanted me to lie. And he never made it clear to me because his personal attorneys reviewed my statement before I gave it to Congress." So he made it clear to me because his personal attorneys reviewed my statement before I gave it to Congress. Yeah, so that's pretty much what he said. He never explicitly pressured him, but he pretty much said, okay, I want you to lie, but I don't know. It's a little confusing, that statement, to be honest. In conversations we had during the campaign, at the same time I was actively negotiating for Russia, in Russia for him, he would look me in the eye and tell me there's no business in Russia, and then go out and lie to the American people saying the same thing. In his way, he was telling me to lie, Cohen plans to say, by lying to him when everyone knew that, or at least Cohen knew that it was all wrong. A lot of people have asked me about whether Trump knew about the release of the hacked DNC emails ahead of time. The answer is yes, Cohen writes, alleging that Roger Stone told Trump that WikiLeaks' Julian Assange notified him there would be a massive dump of emails that would damage Hillary Clinton's campaign, and boy, did they actually damage it quite a lot. So Trump did tell the special counsel Robert Mueller in writing that Roger Stone did not tell him about WikiLeaks, nor was he told about a 2016 Trump Tower meeting between his son, campaign officials, and a Russian lawyer promising dirt on Hillary Clinton, according to 2 sources familiar with the matter. CNN reported at the end of November, so obviously he denied all of that. Trump's longtime fixer and lawyer will also present the committee with several documents to corroborate his allegations, including a $130,000 wire transfer from Cohen to Stormy Daniels in the final day of the 2016 election that was demanded by Miss Clifford to Stephanie Clifford is her name, her normal name, to maintain her silence about her affair with Trump. Cohen also provide a copy of a $35,000 check from Trump's personal bank account with written on the signature was from August 2017, when he was president of the United States, reimbursing Cohen for his payment to Clifford. The $35,000 check, Cohen says, was one of 11 installments for which Trump had allegedly reimbursed Cohen throughout 2017. And then that obviously proves that he was part of that scheme that Cohen had to plead guilty to back a few months ago for the campaign violation charge. So, another potentially problematic anecdote that Cohen will provide today is a June 2016 interaction he witnessed between Trump and Don Jr. in a Trump Tower that happened soon before the planned meeting with a Kremlin-aligned lawyer who promised to provide dirt on Clinton, saying, "I remember being in the room with Mr. Trump, probably in early June 2016, when something peculiar happened. Don Jr. came to the room and walked behind his father's desk, which in itself was unusual," Cohen writes in his opening remarks. "People don't just walk behind Trump's desk to talk to him. I recall Don Jr. leaning over to his father and speaking in a low voice, which I could clearly hear." Of course, Don Jr. failing as usual, and saying, "The meeting is all set." I remember Trump saying, "Okay, good, let me know." So that seems to be obviously, I'm not saying any possible the meeting could be referring to. That would require that kind of treatment. Obviously, that's the implication that that's what it was about. But again, will this be very damaging to Mr. Trump if he has documents? It would be a lot more damaging. And I think if Mueller is able to corroborate this ahead of time of his report, it would be also incredibly damaging. So just hours ahead of Trump's first meeting and dinner with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, Trump tweeted the below of Cohen, saying, quote, "Michael Cohen was one of my many lawyers who represented me, unfortunately. He had other clients also. He was also just disbarred by the state Supreme Court for lying and fraud. He did bad things unrelated to Trump. He is lying in order to reduce his prison time using Crooked's lawyer." Crooked's, I think, talking about Hillary, with Lanny Davis is the lawyer he was using. All right, so on the other hand, all that was after staunch Trump defender, Florida Representative Matt Gaetz threatened Cohen in a now deleted tweet, saying, "Hey, at Michael Cohen 212, do your father-in-law and wife know about your girlfriends? Maybe tonight would be a good time for that chat. I wonder if she'll remain faithful when you're in prison. She's about to learn a lot." So pretty much, yeah, threatening a witness, taunting, teasing, embarrassing, schoolyard bully type stuff, especially from a, like, when it comes from a guy looking like Matt Gaetz, it's just like, it's hard to take seriously, but still, we don't know about that. So Gaetz' warning, though, does, legal experts say, amount to witness tampering. So good job. He's really an incredible idiot. It really reflects high-stakes nature of Cohen's testimony tour and swirling concerns about just how damaging it might be to Trump. Cohen's closed-door 9-hour appearance before the Senate Intelligence Committee on Tuesday appears to have been persuasive to some. 2 years ago, when this investigation started, I said it may be the most important thing I've involved in my public life in the Senate, and nothing I heard today dissuades me from that view. That's Mark Warner, the top Democrat on the Senate Intelligence Committee, saying, Cohen, after the hearing, said, "I look forward to tomorrow to be able to, in my voice, tell the American people my story. I'm going to let the American people decide exactly who's telling the truth. I'm sure half the country will be deciding one thing, and half the country will be deciding the other, in favor of Trump or in favor of Cohen." So yeah, while White House and Trump allies attacked Cohen to prepare aggressively to question him, Democrats are carefully considering the optics of seeming to defend someone who pleaded guilty to several counts of lying to Congress. Every single Republican will try to make Cohen look less credible, but we're playing a fine line ourselves between not making this wacko look like hero, but at the same time, if there's something valuable that we can take back to the American people, we need to do so. There's a fine balancing act here, House Democratic aide told the Washington Post. So yeah, and they really got a good point there. They can't just go, "Michael Cohen, welcome to the resistance," when this guy's literally convicted of lying to Congress. He's going to go to jail and do a lot of other bad things. So yeah, he's back testifying before Congress. Second time in like 2 weeks, someone accused of lying to Congress has been back testifying before it. House Democrats are privately scrambling to streamline the lines of inquiry to avoid duplicative efforts, refraining from impeding Special Counsel Robert Mueller's investigation and elude the appearance of an overzealous partnership. Rachel Bade and Karun Demiran looked into the effort to prevent kind of a simmering turf war from erupting during their first blockbuster hearing as an early test of whether they can pursue complex crisscrossing probes with the administration without turning on each other. So that's what they're going to be trying to do. I recommend you go check that out. So that's going to be all very interesting to watch. And I think the hearing, Michael Cohen's first public hearing, is going to be at 10 a.m. just in a few hours. So we're going to be watching all of that. Yeah, Cohen testimony beginning at 10 a.m. All right, so we now turn to the White House, which is in Vietnam at the moment. Trump will meet with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un today at 6:30 p.m. in Hanoi, which is 6:30 a.m. Eastern, so just in a few minutes, actually, 8 minutes. Trump and his friend will have a one-on-one meeting, followed by a social dinner, according to the White House's daily schedule. All false reporting guessing on my intentions with respect to North Korea. Kim Jong-un and I will try very hard to work something out on denuclearization, and then I will try... And then making North Korea an economic powerhouse. I believe China, Russia, and Japan, and South Korea will all be very helpful. So again, we don't even know. So, interestingly enough, ahead of Trump's first day with Kim, Democratic Representatives Ro Khanna, Barbara Lee, and Andy Kim introduced a resolution calling for an end of the Korean War. Historic engagement, Khanna says, between South and North Korea has created a once-in-a-generation opportunity to formally end this war. Saying, quote, President Trump will or must not squander this rare chance for peace. He shall work hand in hand with our ally, South Korean President Moon Jae-in, to bring war to a close and advance toward the denuclearization of the peninsula. And even if he gets nothing out of that relationship, even if he gets nothing out of that meeting, I think it'd be very, very cool. And I would give him personally a lot of credit if he was able to end that war, which would be a substantive step towards kind of easing ties, making and ratcheting things down a little bit on the peninsula, because that used to be, again, so much more tense. I mean, partly towards the efforts of the South Koreans really coming out and meeting with North Korea multiple times in the past year. They've really, and of course with Trump maybe doing a little bit as well. But I think I would really have to give him a lot of credit if he came in and actually ended the the Korean War. Just like I gave him a lot of credit when he took the troops out of Afghanistan or Syria, or at least when he said, but I don't know if he's even done that yet. Everything this guy does, you gotta follow through on it. It's like watching or babysitting like a little toddler. It's like his brain. But anyway, Trump's Twitter feed suggests that preparations might have veered off track. Might have veered off track. Cohen's hearing will begin at 10 a.m. Eastern, while the White House has attempted to downplay the timing of the hearing and their content. Reporters have drawn out the White House's private concerns and planned to tune in. White House officials in Washington will be watching Cohen's testimony and taking notes in case the president wants to be briefed on what was said, according to a senior White House official. And boy, he's probably going to want to be briefed. But the expectation is that Trump will stay overnight in Hanoi and watch the Wednesday hearing. So it's unfortunate this is happening now. The Washington officials told the Post, who spoke on condition of anonymity, to discuss the Cohen hearing. Donald Trump Jr. said to Tucker Carlson last night, for a Democrat to try to counter-program this kind of progress, to try to perhaps somehow distract him with this nonsense by, a convicted felon who's been lying to the same committee, it just goes to show you how much those Democrats really disdain Trump, but also America. Yeah, Democrats hate America. It's that simple. Trump Jr. told Tucker Carlson last night. And again, pretty much anyone with an IQ higher than ranch dressing wouldn't be distracted by this happening events. They know how to walk and chew gum at the same time. But still, Trump is not one of those people. All right, on the Hill, the GOP fell in line. The House passed a disapproval resolution on Tuesday to terminate Trump's national emergency declaration on the southern border, but the vote fell short of a majority-approved veto. The Senate is now obliged to consider the message, and there's some chance GOP defection could result in passage, but Trump has said he plans to veto the resolution, and a veto override is much less likely. So, the Senate has now 18 days to take up the resolution, which requires only a simple majority. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell told reporters the Senate will vote on the resolution before the next week congressional recess. That means only 4